Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
While you're in sunny Florida, be sure to visit
WARlando! Into a world of epic adventure.
So, welcome to WARlando. We have a special Corona episode. This is Adam. And we have...
Hey, this is Mark.
And this is Nick.
Hey! All three of us here. So this episode's going to be just us bullshitting for a couple hours.
I think we're all in need of that.
Oh my God. What a crazy time to be alive.
Yeah, it really is. I keep waiting to wake up and go, whoa, what a dream. This is messed up. Listen to this.
It is so strange. Like that they have segments on the news called "What Day Is It?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah.
What day is it? What time is it? What's going on?
For posterity's sake, like if you're listening to this years later and you've never heard of the coronavirus, I don't know what happened. We found this in a time capsule. But
I am drinking my favorite beer, Dead Guy. So I don't know if
very
that's
good
or not.
I
you
do
know,
like the rogue
I'm preparing
Dead Guy.
for the worst here with a Dead Guy.
Yeah, that's good.
I am drinking Jim Beam with Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's very tasty.
Gotta watch that quarantine figure, right?
Yeah, I've already heard there's COVID-19 and there's also the COVID-15, like the freshman 15 you get in college.
Yeah. And I'm I doing something a little different here. I'm going with a Mexican style lager. I'm going with the Modelo Negro.
Oh, nice.
So,
for a second I thought you were going to say Corona.
No, I actually there was only one left, and it was the light version, and I wasn't too fond of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Modelo, yeah, very nice. And I'm chasing it with a little bit of Johnny Walker.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go. Very nice.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great way to get through your time in semi-quarantine. I'm fully, like, almost fully. I've been going to a couple stores. Like, I had to run the pool supply place today, which was weird. I wanted to, like, okay, just for the month, I want to, like, for a couple months, I want to get, like, 3 months at a time of chlorine and just do the one trip because I hate going there.
Yeah.
And they said I can only get 4 jugs.
Oh.
And this is the time of year where the pool all of a sudden wants to just explode with algae. So
you got that limit going on.
Yeah, why are you doing that to me? Like, of all the places, like, limit 1 on the toilet paper or whatever it is, but not the chlorine for the pool. Why are you limiting me there?
I guess you can dilute it with water, I guess, and use it as a cleaner. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, you think people are going in there and using it to wipe down their grocery bags and all that stuff?
Oh, probably. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they're not getting it confused with that chloroquine stuff that's on the news. This is the malaria drug.
I'm sure some people are.
Yeah.
Judging from what I've seen out in public, yes, I believe, unfortunately, that it might be the case.
Yeah, it's just so strange. Just a strange time to turn on the news and just see what's going on in the world and all the, like, post-apocalyptic stuff of the streets in, like, Italy, and then I pull out of my apartment and it's still packed with traffic. Or not my apartment, my house, but
there was a lot of traffic on the road today.
Yeah, what the hell? Everybody's
I don't know.
home. But you guys are both busy with work.
Yes.
Construction can't stop.
Yeah, no, that's not stopping.
And people want to stream. So Stream Monkey's doing their thing.
Stream.
Yeah, that's very popular right now.
Oh,
isn't it, Nicholas?
Oh my goodness. Yep. Everybody running around with their head with their hair on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then thinking they know what they need to do when they don't really even know how to do it yet. So
There's a lot of that right now.
You're having to hold a lot of hands.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. But hey, it's that's what we do.
Yeah.
So,
You're
keep
not
us in
supposed to be.
business.
You're not supposed to be holding hands.
No, well, yeah. Right.
You're doing it
That's
wrong.
not what we do.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's better.
Oh, I just noticed I'm not even using my nice mic that I hooked up.
Oh.
Let me know if this goes crazy.
Okay.
All right, do it.
Me again.
No,
With my other mic.
Sounds
That
good.
Sounds great.
Yeah, sounds good.
Very nice. Very
Okay.
nice.
Yep.
Let's keep it like that.
Live
All right.
in person, making the show better for you, all
Yeah.
you listeners out there.
As it happens.
Yep.
It's a work in progress, like everything.
And that's my motto, or it's been my mantra lately, how to make a better me.
Yeah,
when I can.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
be better.
What a great time to do it.
Exactly.
Like, people are going to come back from this and, like, come back out into the world again and see, like, everybody's improved. I hope I'm one of those, because I don't want to gain the COVID-15. I want to lose the COVID-15.
Yeah.
That scene, I know we quote it all the time, but it popped into my head, The Wizard of Oz. The scene where all of the munchkins come out, and they're all coming out to see the world is better.
Yes. And they sing a glorious song together.
Yeah,
so
they do.
Are we gonna sing a glorious song?
I'm not going to do that to anybody. I don't want to punish anybody with that.
Well,
Oh,
yeah. Maybe next time. I mean, you might have some time to work on your singing skills.
Yeah, that's a good point. This is the chance. I have the chance to work on all these different hobbies, which I want to, like, vent a little bit to you guys. I have very brief bursts of motivation, and then it just goes away. I'll start a project and just peter out. And I was saying it last episode too, that, like, I just have such a hard time maintaining interest in doing a lot of these projects. Unlike when I was working every day, I would get home and I would just want to tear into it because I've been thinking about it all day.
Right.
Right.
It's a little break. You're getting away from the work mode and just kind of sliding in, and it's very therapeutic. To be able to go down, sit at your hobby table, and just work on that for a while.
Yeah. Instead, I'll pick something up and I'll do it for a while, and then I'll go read a book for a while, and then I'll pick something else up. But, like, I just feel like I can't keep that steady like, if I had my work attitude that I could, like, channel into my hobby, if I could just, like, man, okay, 40 hours a week, I'm gonna just churn out models and terrain, and videos, and, like, just tear into it. But I've just had a really hard time just getting it going.
Well, it's understandable. I mean, I think everybody's feeling the pressure of it all. Whether it's in the forefront of their thoughts or residing in the back of their mind, with everything going on. So I'm sure you're not alone in that.
I hope I'm not alone. And if you're hearing this and you have some tips or pointers, or, like, can do a Jedi mind trick on me to get me, like, in the right headspace, I appreciate it. What's it been like for you guys, as far as, like, because you're working so hard during this time? What's it been like for you guys, hobby time?
It's been tough. I kind of almost wish I could, stay home for a week. Just 1 week. That's all I ask, but that's not happening. But so it's like business as usual, just trying to claim a little bit as I can. Like today, came home. First thing I did was come to the hobby room, after talking to the kids and the fam, and just sat in here for a little bit, just about 15 minutes. Just had something I wanted to do, and was able to complete it, and that was it. Then moving on to the next project and next little bit of work. So it's been like that for me. It's been little like, just little nuggets.
I guess I've been getting the same thing, little nuggets, but just not the. I want to bite off a big chunk.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you feel it's like, man, I got all this time now, so I should be able to just be knocking it out. I could sit here 16 hours a day and just go and,
Yeah, but I just somehow I was like when this started, I was definitely getting that, but now 2 weeks into it, I've not got the same drive.
What do you think you need to do to change that? Because I'm going to expect 16 hours a day out of you.
A light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I think is what I need. I need to know, okay, I'm going back to work on this day. And I think that's what I need to help me. Even if they tell me that day is June 1st. Do you know what I mean? Here we are in just 8 days into April when we're recording this.
Right.
I want to hear, just tell me when. Cuz I hear all these rumors about maybe this is just the first wave.
Mhm.
Maybe it's going to crest again in another month.
Yeah, I gotcha. I think the Spanish flu was like that. It had 3 different waves of it over the course of the 2-year span. Well, kind of like what we had, 1 year going to the next. But, yeah.
And to have my nephew and my sister both got really bad flus this year, and they were tested, and it was influenza B that they had.
Yeah.
So, man, just having so much down. I definitely got sick in January and had to deal with that, and just the thought of because I heard one group say that it might be slightly different mutations in the different waves. So if you got wave 1, you still could catch, you could catch wave 2 or 3.
Yep.
Still be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a pretty thought, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
Yeah.
back to brighter stuff. Nicholas, what have you been up to?
Well, we kicked off the YouTube channel, video battle reports and stuff like that, a year ago, right?
Yeah.
And that's great, streaming, doing on-demand streaming through that, right? And then we kicked off our live stream, and that's my job. I help other companies do this. And unfortunately, the one thing I want to be doing is streaming for WARlando. But I'm not. But I have to count, my fortunes and say I've been fortunate to have a job through this, and I can't complain about that. So
we are lucky people.
But yeah, it's been busy because everybody wants to stream. So I've been helping a lot of other people stream. Nothing super cool yet. You know what I mean? Nothing I'm oh man, I wish I was there doing that. The weirdest thing is I'm working from home now through this kind of, quarantine, shelter at home stuff. And I'm working in my hobby / guest / office. And so I am constantly all day long surrounded by all of these wonderful toys.
and you don't have any opportunity. You don't have any time to play with them?
Right. I mean, I'll be on a phone call, you know what I mean? Talking business and wheeling and dealing and doing my thing. And I'll just be over here, playing back, just kind of moving these models around a little bit. Just kind of repositioning these guys and turning them a little bit, making sure they look cool. You know what I mean? Getting them battle ready.
I wonder if you could set up a little mini game where you just hit your mute button on the phone to roll the dice and see which model kills which model.
Yeah.
Indeed. That's great. I think I just, have the dice set up, just mute, start rolling some dice, and I'll come back and I'll be like, so is 2 up to save or 3? I mean, I'm sorry. When was your event going to be on? What day? Okay. Mm-hmm.
I've been very lucky that one of the things I did get was the 3D printer right before this started. And I've been just churning stuff out. Yeah.
So definitely I've been living vicariously through your posts of all these fun things that you've been doing. So that's cool.
Yeah, you've been churning out the projects.
I have, but I just like maybe I'm just my own critic too much, but I just like I'll start on something and like I don't want to be doing this anymore. Like I'll bite off a project and like I'm just tired of painting this. You know, but not being able to push myself through it. But I did put together some care packages, so you guys expect to see some little hobby stuff coming in the mail.
Oh, geez. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, nothing big. I just a sampling of the stuff I've been printing.
Oh, that's so cool. That'll be great fun to get. Woohoo!
I don't currently have any symptoms, and it should take more than 3 days to get there. So I think you should be safe just wiping everything down once it gets there.
There we go. Okay.
You don't have to quarantine these packages I'm sending to you in the mail.
Okay, yeah, that's not going to happen when I get it.
Well, it's not a big deal. I just wanted to know. I wanted you to know that I sent you some stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. You did ask for my my address. I was like,
yeah, I wanted to confirm. I wasn't going to show up at your door.
No. Well, no, not that you were going to show up. I was just wondering what you were going to send me. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah. Was it going to like? we were expecting like the Unabomber to like, oh my God, no! I'm not telling you my address.
Would you get like a glitter bomb or something?
Oh.
Glad to know it's not going to be a glitter bomb.
It's not going to be a glitter bomb. It's just some stuff. It's some neat files I found that I could print that I just like sent your guys.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
That is so cool. So do you recommend everybody get a 3D printer? When this is like all said and done and behind us, you know, just go ahead and get a 3D printer to reward yourselves for making it through.
So this was found it for just under $230. It was like $220 something.
Oh man, nice.
So that was the cost of the printer, and then each spool of filament I'm finding between $20 and $30. And I bet I could find it for cheaper if I just watched out for sales.
Okay.
But that's what I've been finding for what they say is good quality filament. And it is possible to get bad filament. If it's like old, it can get really brittle. But this has been really good. So I think I should price it out. But for that dice tower that I made, I showed you guys, big, heavy, solid dice tower. And it took maybe 2/3 of a spool to print that whole thing. Okay.
Oh, so, really? Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so I did end up... There is a cost, but for little things, like to do, like, if I wanted to do, like, fences, like farm-looking fences and little, like, rock walls and, like, I printed a ton of bases. So I think bases is where there's a big value swing, because 20, 30 bases for Warhammer models, really like detailed cobblestone bases or like themed terrain bases, I could do a ton of those for pennies instead of paying like the $20 that a big retailer would want to charge you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So there's it depends on what you're making. So if you want to make something big and dense, you're going to pay for it. And you're probably buying the file for that too. But if you want to do something small like that, I can do a ton of bases for next to nothing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great to know.
Yeah, I've been making lots of little stuff like tombstones for Warhammer scale. And I've been making fairly accurate little rangefinders for the 3-inch Warhammer measurements. You know, those little like combat gauge. I've been making those, and I found some that were themed for different armies. So I've been,
nice.
Yeah, so I felt like, well, you know how I have to have dice that matches my army. Now I can paint up these little combat gauges to match my army.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. Excellent. I like those touches.
Yeah, so I think based on that, I think like the COVID curve, I think there's definitely going to be a curve in the value of the 3D printer and the filament and how efficiently I can make use of it. So I think for us as a group together, I think being able to share the resources, I think it's definitely going to pay for itself very quickly.
Awesome. Yeah, I believe that too. Yeah, that's great.
Particularly for the bases. I think that's the biggest place where I can see a huge difference in price points.
Mm-hmm.
The bases, because I found them all on Thingiverse, so they were all free. I didn't even pay for the files. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's great. Yeah.
and plus I've had access to these Fat Dragon Games files for a long time. All kinds of free stuff I downloaded. So there's lots of like skeletons that they were giving away, and all these dungeon tiles and so much cool stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
Yeah. I saw something that you guys might think is funny, just as a left turn non sequitur, talking about people in quarantine. There's did you see that thing about Crowley, Louisiana, and their curfew, their nighttime curfew, sundown curfew? No, they wanted to set off not an alarm, but they wanted a siren that was different from a normal police car siren. You know what I'm talking about, Mark?
I think I did hear a little something about this. Yep.
They wanted a siren that sounded different, and so one of the members of their sheriff's department had found a siren that he thought was appropriate to have all their police cars driving around town to tell everybody it's time for quarantine, setting off the siren. They chose the same siren from the Purge. They found the siren from the horror films The Purge, the same siren.
Oh man.
So, I would freak out if someone drove past my house playing the Purge siren. Oh my, talk about shelter in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with the Purge films, go watch those Purge films, and then if someone drove by your house with that siren blaring, I'm sure you would freak out. Oh my god. Who thought this was a good idea? After the fact, he's like, "Oh, well, certain military groups use that siren." Okay, sure. But so does this.
Yeah. check it before you use it.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm sure it was under good intentions, but speaking of the Purge, I think I passed by it on one of these streaming networks. So,
I
services.
haven't watched the first one, but the second one I thought was pretty decent. Mm-hmm. And I think there's one that's
so it's out there on one of them.
Yeah,
So.
there's one that's called Purge Election Year. That feels really great social commentary on like our current electoral environment and like what our country is going through. It's still an R-rated film that's very bloody, and there's a lot of you could say it's gratuitous violence, but I feel like it's violence that really does a great job of serving the metaphor of what they're talking about as far as like all the things that are wrong with our current American society. I think they did a great job.
Excellent. It's gonna have to do a marathon then. Try to dig them all up.
If you have to pick just one, watch Election Year.
All right. I'll look for it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I do want to make a disclaimer. If what I have found is that as I've been working in this, slash office, it's my dog just loves to just lay next to me and hang out, which is great.
That is
great.
Yeah.
But dogs often lick themselves and scratch themselves. So in the background tonight, if you hear some licking and scratching, don't assume it was me. Ask first.
Okay. I know.
So you're saying it might be still though.
I think during this
that
time,
is not
we
being
shouldn't
ruled
throw
out
any
completely.
possibilities.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Yep.
You will confirm nor deny.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. We'll go with that. What happens in quarantine stays in quarantine. All right, man. It's gonna be all right. You do you. I mean, well, that didn't sound good. Okay.
No, wait.
Anyway.
That's what I said. Just make sure you ask first, and then I'll let you know if I am doing me.
All right. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. This will be a good time to take a break and insert a commercial after that awkwardness.
Do you have a t-shirt collection? I do. Do you need more t-shirts? More than there are days in the year. Get your WARlando t-shirt. Support the show, support us. We will love you for it forever. Link in the show notes. Go search them right now. You're not doing anything else. What are you doing right now? Are you doing anything important? No. So go look at the show notes.
So some of the hobby things I've been doing, I've only done a little bit. So I have had maybe like 2 or 3 nights to work on stuff. I spent one night working on my... I'm doing a Hurricanum conversion.
Another one.
And so the one where, yeah, another one. Can't have too many of those Hurricanums. And it's going to be more for the classic dwarf. Or Duarda.
Oh, this is the one you did
say.
show us.
Yeah, so this is the one where I'm going to put the Rune Lord, on the Anvil Doom. Or the Anvil of Doom. The Rune Lord on the Anvil of Doom. And it's gonna be on a war bear.
Oh,
That's cool.
Yes.
And the war bear is gonna hold the Anvil of Doom, and the guy as he's like hammering down on the anvil. And then I kind of started to take some of one of the endless spells, the what's the one with it's like the 2 orbs from like Gur?
The Geminids.
Yes, the Geminids. So the idea is I would use the one of the Geminids or maybe both of them up on top, kind of like he's hitting the anvil and there's like this electricity kind of like just emanating out of it.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. Where'd you get that warbear?
Cybor.
Cybor Miniatures?
I love their stuff.
Nice.
In Poland.
Yes.
Yeah, Poland must have a really good miniature scene because Spellcrow is also out of Poland.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I keep looking at it and coming back to it. But the French company, Raging Heroes, there's so much of their stuff because they almost exclusively do female models.
Okay.
And they do some really beautiful stuff. So I've been wanting to order some stuff from them. I keep looking at Cybor, but they don't have a lot of stuff for the armies that I do. But their dwarf stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You got some other stuff from them, didn't you?
I did. I got the dwarves on the war goats or something like that, or what are they?
Rams?
Rams. Yep, the war rams or mountain rams. Sorry, dwarves on mountain rams, and I got those to be my demigriff knights.
That's cool.
And then I got the dwarf on a war boar that has wings, and that's going to be my
it's
general on a griffin.
It's like a big Taurus, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool.
So
The Lord Arcanum on a Taurolon is kind of like
okay.
yeah. So you could
Very similar.
Yeah, and you could probably proxy him for both those if you wanted to. Either of those.
Probably could. Yeah. That's a good point. I probably could do that. Yep. Then so I spent one night working on that. Priming some other models. I built up one of my. I got like a little bit of Middle Earth.
Like what?
Middle Earth strategy battles.
What'd you get?
And I got basically like a bunch of Moria goblins and cave troll and Isengard, Uruk-hai, Saruman, and like a Mordor troll to go with them. I got all those from a friend of ours in Space Force named Steven.
Yeah.
He's the Irish. And
so what are you going to do with them? Are you just you're going to play them up, paint them specifically for fantasy battles, or are you going to convert them for Warhammer stuff?
No, I'm not going to convert them. I'm going to use them for Middle Earth.
That's cool.
Strategy battles. Yeah, one day I'll play. really like Lord of the Rings. One of my favorite models of GW or Citadel is that Balrog.
Oh, that's a gorgeous model.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, I've got a little diorama on my dresser, of Gandalf standing there, and the Balrog is up over him. And anyway,
that's cool.
So I got these. I want to paint them up. It'd be fun to kind of just have them. Also, I'd like to get into it, which then leads me to another night, kind of tonight-ish, as well as one of the other nights before the store closed. The Collective, I got an order from them. They sent it to me.
Oh, that's great. What'd you get?
I got a bunch of Star Wars Legion stuff.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I got like the death. I got, Director Krennic and the Death Troopers.
Yeah.
And Jyn Erso. And,
sweet.
The Rebel Pathfinders. So
are the Pathfinders the ones also from Rogue One?
Yeah, they're the Rebel guys that jump out on the beach and fight.
That's cool.
And then I got the crashed escape pod set. So
nice.
That comes with C3PO and R2D2. So
and the pod?
Yep.
That's cool. What a great terrain feature to have.
Yeah. So it's a terrain feature, and then I think it comes with some kind of like objective stuff. Like it kind of gives you a mission to play.
That's cool.
And maybe something like that. So I haven't really poured through the cards yet, but anyway, I kind of like Middle Earth stuff. I kind of just have Star Wars Legion on the side. I've only ever played Star Wars Legion once.
Hey, that's more than me.
Collecting it.
Yeah, what'd you think of it?
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is like when you start each round, it's like like an X-wing. You start with the pilot with the highest, or the pilot with the lowest.
At least in first edition it is. Have you guys played the second edition X-wing yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah. So anyway,
yes, the lowest pilot skill moves first.
The weakest pilot moves first, right? And then the best pilot shoots first.
Yeah.
This one is not like that per se, but it is interesting in the way that they kind of mix up that, activation order. So it's like that where you kind of take turns activating. You have like these activation cards that tell you like who you get to activate first. So you build this little activation deck, and it has like 1, 2, 3, or 4 pips on it. Mm-hmm. And so you decide when you want to use those cards with the pips, and whoever has the lowest pips for that round, gets to do activations first. And that card tells you how many activations you can do. So it kind of helps with like, trying to wait maybe until later when you need to do something first, or you need to do something second. You know what I mean? Then you get to kind of try and play the deck a little bit, play the other player in the deck. Because, what if you need like Luke Skywalker to go first to get off some special action before he gets gunned down by a gun line or something?
Yeah.
Then you want to wait and, use that number 1 pip when you can, as well as maybe this round you can't do anything with this unit of troopers yet until somebody moves into your arc, like your range. Maybe you want to use those pips, those higher pips, to force yourself to be able to go second.
Is it a dice game as well, or is it just cards?
It's like all the other Star Wars, where it's got its own special set of dice. Mm-hmm. Kind of like the other ones where you're rolling for successes and focus and fails and stuff like that. So
that sounds like a lot of fun. It just all of a sudden reminded me of Spades. You guys ever play Spades?
Yeah.
Yeah, just that you have, like, it sounds like in Spades, you know what you have in your hand, and you're trying to guess what the other person is going to play, so you can make the most use of the card order that you have.
Yeah.
I don't know if it relates directly or not, but you have to think about what the opponent has, right?
Yeah, because, whereas in like Age of Sigmar, you're hoping to either, either get the double turn or give that away, and maybe you get double turn the next round. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you're playing. So that's a little bit more risky, right? Because it's on a D6 roll against each other, and really, the only thing that you gain better is tiebreaker. So you got you have 5 out of 6 chances to win, potentially, and so that's where this one you get to try and strategize that just a little bit.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I like that. I like anything where you get to like just kind of play the other person's. What are they thinking? How do I play around what they're thinking? Yeah,
but it's cool too. Like when you build your unit, you get the base unit, the base number of models, base number of models that go with that unit, and then it's like extra points to add on an extra trooper or two, or it's extra points. Like an X-wing where you get to see like, well, what kind of mods can my or what kind of guns can my ship carry? It's similar to that. So you look at your unit and you say like, oh, they can have these specific gun upgrades, or they can have these specific items you can choose for it, like grenades or whatnot.
Yeah.
And so you get to kind of customize it a little bit, Mm-hmm. So it seemed pretty fun, that first time I played it.
It looks like fun, and just like to play anything in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Particularly if they do the game right,
Right. Oh, yeah. So that's fun.
Yeah, and that's been great. And thank you for starting up the campaign again for the Star Wars. That's been a blast, too. Speaking of anything fun, Star Wars. So.
I'm still really surprised that they're not continuing it. But the Frontline, it's not Frontline. Who is it that makes the Star Wars games?
Fantasy Flight.
That Fantasy Flight isn't going to get to continue making it, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds?
I mean, there's still so much of it that we haven't played yet. I mean,
well, it's one to watch for a Humble Bundle or whenever they get, if there is ever any kind of PDF sale, or just seeing it anywhere in any store, since now's the time to, once we are able to go shopping again, it'll probably be a good time to pick up those books if they're not going to be, Fantasy Flight isn't still making them, the retailers are going to start clearing them off the shelves, and they're going to probably gonna show up on the discount shelf.
Yeah, that is true, and there's nothing wrong with them.
It's a great game.
It's a great game, a great system. So man, I'd say go out and get it. It's been a blast to play, and what a creative system it is, especially with the dice rolls. I really like that.
Yeah, it is a very creative system. I mean, we played not too long ago. Well, I guess in the scheme of things, not too long ago, we played that that Marvel game from the 90s, early 90s, late 80s. The Star Wars, not Star Wars, the Marvel role-playing game. It's still a perfectly good system.
Oh, it totally is.
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah,
I could just see like if you play that a lot, or you play Star Wars a lot, you may run out of missions eventually, and then be like, I wish they were still adding more content. But it's like right now for us, I mean, we've played through 2 other missions. We're like halfway through this one,
right?
And so 2.5 missions, and I just kind of pick up the Star Wars, more of those missions every once in a while when I find them at a store. Maybe they're on discount or something like that.
Yeah.
Or even if they're not, just if like a, comic shop has one or used bookstore has one, something like that.
Definitely.
So it's always a fun find.
Yeah.
You can find it at a used bookstore. You feel so glorious when you walk out with that.
But then just think like to go out of this mission, since we just started this one and we were almost halfway through, I was like, I kind of want to finish this one before we jump back into D&D. I'd like to finish this one and do this other small one that I have that I think would be like not as long, but would be really fun to kind of tag on to the back of it. But that one is from the old West End games.
Oh yeah, and that was probably early in the aughts somewhere that system came out, right?
No, that was that was 90s. I think it was early 90s. Wasn't
Really?
it? Or late 90s. It was like
Wow.
Yeah, because after West End games was the Wizards of the Coast did one, I think.
Oh really?
I never played these ones, but I just knew they were there.
That's cool. I love to see that. And if you think it's something you can adapt,
I think so. Yeah, I'm going to keep working on it. I think it's something that can be easily adapted.
That's great
for this particular one. So, yeah. Anyway, it's like a tiny little it's a pamphlet almost. So it's really not like super in depth, I don't think. But I think it would just be a great kind of sort of tag on to the end of this one.
No,
so
perfect.
I've got my reasons. I'm not going to share.
Let's do it.
That's awesome. Yeah. There's so many games. And I think this is such a great era for looking at finding the bright side. This is a great time to try and just get out there and play role-playing games because you can play all these games virtually. You don't have to meet in person to play these games. These games, I think they're all enriched by playing in person, but you don't have to play in person to still get a fantastic time playing games.
Well, that kind of that's interesting because really that's a good segue into something I wanted to talk about tonight. One, real quick before I jump into that, I'm going to unsegue back to what we were talking about with the Star Wars game.
Yeah.
Legions. One thing for sure, as we've already done this episode, like since the beginning of this episode, I've already assembled 7 models.
That's great.
That's how easy this game is to put together.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You could customize these if you wanted to, but man, it's like on all the troops and stuff, you don't cut sprues. They come each model comes individually wrapped in a Ziploc bag. I'm sure this is horrible for the environment, but everyone comes in like a little, what I imagine is like, a dime bag or something. And
so each stormtrooper comes wrapped individually?
Yeah. And then they come in the little parts, their torso, their head, their arms, and then you just easily glue them together. And I'm not frustrated. I'm not yelling at anybody. I'm just nice, easily hosting a podcast while I do this. And I've assembled 6 Death Troopers and Director Krennic.
Oh, all while we were talking.
All while we've been talking so far.
That's great.
Yeah.
So as far as like when you mow the lawn and you turn around and you went, no matter what's happened, I at least did that, right?
Yeah.
Like I at least cut my grass and it looks better than from when I started.
Yep.
And that's the thing with Star Wars Legion. No matter what, you can turn around and go, at least I'm better off than I started.
Yep. That's so cool. We need to do a hobby hangout. I think this is something I can commit to in hobby time, is that the next time we do one of these shows via Skype, that we can actually have the video running and we can actually talk to each other and show some of the things we're talking about. Instead of it just being
that
an audio.
Actually, a really good idea.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Hey, I had a good idea. Yes.
Nice. Good job. All right.
That's my favorite thing.
Only 3 weeks in, right?
Only 3 weeks in, and yes, a good idea.
But anyway, segue to one of the things I wanted to talk about. If you guys are ready.
What's up?
Is there's a lot of chatter about what to do with your friends, while you're in quarantine. You can't go hang out together, or you're not supposed to. And it's like, so what do you do? GW released something on the Warhammer community about like, you know, hey, find a webcam and then you can play a game and your friend can watch basically while you play for both of you. And it was a little, you know, I mean, hey, you know, kudos to them for thinking of a solution.
Yeah. That's funny you mentioned it because there was like a solitaire game they put out in their last White Dwarf.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, continue. I don't know if it's the same thing or a different thing that they're talking about.
Well, no, it's like, I think it was directly related to the you know, the coronavirus situation where like, hey, nobody can go anywhere. So, you know, set up your computer, set up your webcam to look at the table, and then, you know, play one of the two armies you have, or proxy one of your armies, you know, as close to one of your friend's armies. And then your friend can watch on, you know, Skype or Google Hangouts or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they can roll their dice and they can tell you where to move and do all that stuff. But, you know, one person just does all the movement and playing part of it. You know, which is like, meh, you know, that's kind of like, it's a solution, not one I'm necessarily running to the table.
Great. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, but it definitely is like, you know, better than not doing anything.
True.
Yeah.
I recently,
yeah,
I've been tweaking the man cave, the WARlando Studios South. I've been adding more ways to mount cameras over the table, so I can set us up with a straight down look and a side camera look, so you can see see the table from two separate angles to really get an accurate view of what kind of decisions you want to make.
Ooh, excellent.
So I'd love to give this a go. And so I have a lot of free time, so I can get this together, I think.
Well, I was thinking, you know, even that, or even just like skirmish might be a good
that'd be easy
thing to start with, maybe, and just kind of say, hey, like, you don't have to move all the models, but, you know, let's start with skirmish and go from there, kind of thing.
Definitely easier than trying to do a 2,000-point game.
Yeah, and expecting you to, you know, or me to like figure out how to play your 2,000 points of models, you know, if they don't, you know, go well with the ones that I have. So
yeah, and I think there's a lot of overlap. So long as the base sizes are right, it should be easy to get an accurate measure and get everything in there that you would expect knowing your own army.
Yeah, and that's what they kind of said in the article too. They were like, hey, guys, like, this isn't like going to be like a tournament experience, you know what I mean? Like, don't, you know, just like trust each other to have the best intentions, you know what I mean? Like, just have fun, kind of in that vein of like, things probably aren't going to fit as well as you would have if you were at the table measuring for yourself, you know what I mean? Like,
it's meant to be fun. It's not meant to be ultra competitive.
Fun. Right. Yeah. So, and we were even talking about doing something like that for X-Wing.
I'm ready to go. You guys just tell me when you guys can do it. I can set up in less than an hour to get everything out on the table, and I've got a decent enough array of ships that I might have, like you said, I might not have the same shape. I might not have the same ship, but I definitely got all the base size, all the different base sizes, so that we can proxy it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing some X-Wing. I'm kind of in that Star Wars mood, especially after Sunday night playing the RPG with everybody, and we've been watching The Mandalorian again.
Nice.
So
yes. Oh, what a great show. I think they really nailed it.
They did.
Yeah, looking forward to season 2.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. So you guys are digging the Star Wars RPG? Are you digging the mission so far?
Oh, absolutely. How far did we take it off the rails for you last time?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, old Kelroy didn't ruin things?
Not too, but nope, not, you know, I was kind of, I wouldn't say, like, I'd be lying to say I didn't, you know, bait you a little bit with opportunity. Obviously, there was opportunity for you to walk away, but I felt like there was like, I'm going to throw that opportunity out there, and if you guys are feeling like a little firefight, then you guys will get a little firefight.
I felt like a firefight.
You sure did.
Well, like Kel doesn't have the same. My character Kel doesn't have the same social skills as the rest of the group.
Yes.
He's not a slicer. He's not necessarily he's not going to be the best pilot. He can pilot, but he's not going to be the best pilot, and he's not going to be the one to do a lot of like he's not the face of the party, so to speak.
Yeah.
But if there's a reason to draw guns, he's good with a gun. And we had a reason to draw guns. I wasn't going to miss it.
It was Kelroy Jenkins.
Yeah, that was happy for me. Even though I got down to 1 hit point, I thought I was going to go down. Very lucky that the rest of the group was able to jump in and save me.
Yeah, they, like D&D, it can catch up to you pretty quick.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
it really
all of a sudden, a situation can feel like it's going really well and then feel like it's going really bad really fast.
I like how real it feels. Like I don't feel like there's a big jump between first level to wherever level we are, equivalent of a level we're at right now, where the damage output hasn't changed. Maybe we can become more accurate, but a blaster is a blaster. A blaster does this much damage no matter what.
Yeah, and I think that's the point. Maybe is like you're right. Just because you get better with a blaster doesn't make the blaster hurt somebody else more.
Yeah.
And right. So I definitely think that's a point in the game. So and then the whole strain part of it, where you can cause somebody to, go incapacitated, not just because of their hit points, but also because of their strain going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, I can't wait to see your character fly this ship.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. I'm. It's going to be a train wreck. It really is.
Nice. That's what. Hey, when somebody goes to watch NASCAR, how many of them are looking for a train wreck?
Yes. Yeah. They want to see the car smash.
I think we're going to have a little bit of that.
Yes.
Or a lot of it.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as like, playing games, hobbying at home, stuff like that, I think there's opportunity to play, I think you got to get a little creative, like we were saying just now, your idea of hobby hangout, like turn your Skype session into a hobby hangout, turn your podcast into a hobby hangout,
Yeah. Any chance, because humans are just social creatures. There's some people that are really comfortable without a lot of social interaction, and there's some people that get super uncomfortable without some social interaction. So we're lucky that we're experiencing this social distancing in a time where we have so many tools to interact with each other.
Yeah, that's a big plus. That's definitely making a difference for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
the White Dwarf, I haven't dived into it yet. The White Dwarf from last month does have
You talking about the one with the big space wolf on it?
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just picked that one up.
There is
a collective,
a type of solitaire Age of Sigmar in there, and I haven't played it yet, but I'm looking forward to giving it a try. I'll probably get a chance to do that tomorrow.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Let us know how it plays.
I will, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I have a confession to make. You guys might be surprised. I signed up for the White Dwarf monthly subscription delivered to your door again.
Oh, no.
I thought we went through this
Twice.
several times.
Twice I've gone through this, and I signed up for it again. But
I was just about to ask you if you had gone digital with it.
Nope. I signed up for the delivered to your door, even though I think there might be issues that I might go back and buy digitally, like ones that I missed.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I signed up for the monthly subscription again. Like I just keep coming back for more abuse. But now I've got a different mindset. I'm signing up for it with the knowledge that the publishers aren't going to be consistent every time, and delivery services aren't necessarily going to be the same every time, and I don't need to have it on my doorstep. When they said it would be there, I'm okay with getting it when I get it. But yeah, this is my third time signing up for it.
You say this now.
I say this now. And if anybody's been with us since we started this podcast journey,
we'll have to go back, see what episode that was.
I know it was. Yeah.
It's funny you mention that because, I just got my first white dwarf from having, things got so busy for me, I forgot that it was March and I hadn't used my collective, membership ability yet.
Oh yeah.
And so there's a shop in town called the Collective. It's in Altamont Springs, and that's the place where, I'm like, hey, can I get the white dwarf through you? Can I pay for a subscription, get the whatever discount, right, for committing to a year, and can I just come in and pick it up here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the guy was like, well, no, they don't do that. He's like, that's why I do this membership. Or that's one reason. So basically the membership is $60 for the year.
Uh-huh.
And you get, you get $5 off one thing a month. And you get then 20% off of another item per month. Yeah. And then you get some others, like you get the ability to have extra stamps on your card or something like that. But really, if I just go based off of the $5 off a month, that's $60 that's $60 for the year. So that pays for itself.
Yeah, that basically pays for it. And that $5, it basically is one free item, right? Considered, so you can pick up like a paint or what I've been doing is I've been getting the Whiz Kids miniatures.
It to pay for your white dwarf.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So it's $5 off my white dwarf every month. And
nice.
I just go pick it up from him. But the problem, I guess, now is that I can't go into the store. But he called me and he was like, hey, I got your white dwarf and you haven't used your March thing yet. And I was like, oh, you're right. Dang it. I'm not going anywhere, And he was like, oh, I'll send it to you. So I just basically put it in an order, bought a shit ton of Star Wars Legion stuff, and got 20% off an item and $5 off my white dwarf.
That's
nice.
Great that they're sending it to you.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then I said, hey, what's another way that I can help out? Because I know it's going to be tough over the next month or so. And he was like, well, you can always buy a gift card and use it later. So,
and you get $5 off. And $5 off?
No, but I can use the gift card for my April, get my 20% off one item, $5 off another. So I basically just said, hey, I'm going to commit to buying something from you later. So here's, $100 for a gift card, and I'll call you next month and I'll use my April membership. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
Nice. So he gets a chance to, bank a little cash. I'm not sure how many people are doing that, but he gets a chance to bank some cash with a gift card. You know what I mean? Get him through the month or two or whatever. So that would be my recommendation is, hey, if you're not hurting too bad from this and you don't want your favorite shop to go out of business, buy a gift card.
That's going to be a big deal in all this too. Keeping our local businesses alive, and because the temptation is still going to be there to order stuff through Amazon or order stuff that way instead of because we can't go to our local store. But maybe there is a deal like that can be worked out with these stores that we want to keep alive and keep going.
Yeah. And I think they'll do that. I think, just call them up and say, hey, what can I do? Can you work with me? I want to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
And, these people are people, and so they're going to figure it out with you.
That's great. Yeah, I'm so glad you were able to do that. That's awesome.
So, if you're on this side of town, Collective. I know Mark does the Collective.
Oh, I do. That's a great shop. And in fact, I when I was out and about working, I did swing by the very last day that they were open.
Okay.
And was able to talk to the owner, pick up a few items. And even for my freebie, Adam, I got a Displacer Beast.
Oh, that's great.
Nicholas, WizKids Displacer Beast, from our experience at GaryCon, the virtual GaryCon. So,
which
I picked up one. I had to get that one. So, but he did say that, he'd work with you, and that he was going to be, figuring it out and offering, he could mail it to you. He was even thinking about doing like a delivery if need be, here and there. So, he is open for biz, and I think he sent out an email with the hours that you'll be able to contact him and place an order. So please do so.
Yeah, support your local businesses.
Yes.
So important. Whenever we are free and clear of this, time we have to give something back to them, otherwise they'll disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Displacer Beast. What torture. Nicholas, when I finally put out last week's episode, you'll get to hear of how these Displacer Beasts almost TPK'd us.
They were brutal, man. No.
Yeah, they're crazy creatures.
Looking forward to
it. Did you, Mark, get the Wrath of the Everchosen book?
I did not. I was thinking about that today, actually. So I got the Slaves to Darkness. Mm-hmm. Still need to wade my way through that one. Kind of need to sit down and just kind of, see what it's all about and see what I got and what I can use and what I need and what's changed and all that. But definitely need to get the Wrath of the Everchosen. That looks like a fun book.
Did you get the new hero? Did you get that starter set?
No, that's on my wish list. So that right there, in combination with all the Slaves to Darkness stuff I already have, I think I'm going to be set.
Oh yeah,
so I need to get that one. That's on my list for sure. And I did make a little bit of a purchase. I think I was here painting one night, and I think I was going from coffee to beer. I may have been drinking at the same time. So I think it was a point of frustration with the GW, the Citadel paint pots. I was just, I don't know. There was something about it. Well, I just wasn't pleased anymore. So love the paint. But I think I late night did an Amazon order, and what arrived at my door was 100 BBs from Army Painter, a bunch of 15 milliliter dropper bottles, and some small funnels. So it looks like I'm going to be transferring them all over.
What led to this? Did you spill a paint pot?
No, it was I was just trying to close one that I'd been using quite a bit, and it wasn't sealing properly, and it was so much paint around it, gunked up,
and it went everywhere.
Yeah, and I was just like, there's got to be a better way.
I'm so torn between them both, but I think a good dropper bottle, because I've seen some bad dropper bottles where you just can't control. Like if you're looking at Americana paints or those kind of craft paints, you can't control how much paint comes out of there. If you're lucky, you can get the right amount of paint out. Otherwise, you just get a ton of paint out. But a good dropper bottle, you can just, you know exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get a drop of paint, you know?
Yep.
Hard with the GW to control how much you get. And I mean, you can kind of, I don't know about you guys. When I'm using the GW pots, I use the back end of my paintbrush to scoop out what I want out of what's in the lid of the paint pot. You know, that's what and I definitely don't leave those open. But particularly with the inks and washes, like, why isn't that a dropper bottle? because it's so easy to spill, and if you want to try and pour some out, it's really hard to get just a drop or two out, you know?
Yeah.
I think, like the Nuln Oil and the Agrax Earthshade, those should be in dropper bottles.
Oh, sure. And there's quite a few things where, when you're doing mixing, it gives you a ratio, okay, do a 3-to-1, ratio with this. How do you do that with the paint pots?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's so thick you can't use those, what are they called? The ones you squeeze it, like the you would do with like iodine or something like that, where it's the you squeeze the knob on the end and it sucks it up.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah,
the little like turkey baster thing.
Yeah, like pipettes, I think they're called.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Trying to use those into one of the GWs. What goes into that pipette end, you're never getting that back out. You're going to get a percentage of it back out, but you're always going to leave some of it in there unless you soak up some water to rinse it out. But then you're not going to be able to use that.
Yeah.
I'm sure people listening to this will say, here's why the GW paint pots are better than the dropper option. And maybe there is a reason that they are better, but I don't know. I definitely have
and the dropper bottles, I think they're going to be the way to go for me. Anyway.
For you. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you got to do what's right for you.
Yeah.
I like to go with the simplest colors I can, where I have to do the least amount of mix.
Yes.
I gotcha.
And I know that's a faux pas.
No, I don't think that's
I will apologize for that.
No, it's not. It's actually, it probably keeps your sanity a little bit more. I mean, when I get like 10 shades of white, okay, I'm like, well, why?
I know what you mean. Like I have a really hard time. And there's battle ready and there's parade ready, and I keep ending up somewhere in between the two, where I don't feel like my models are parade ready. I think they're better than battle ready, but if they're better than battle ready and they're not parade ready, then what's the point in hitting that middle ground?
Yours are parade ready. You don't cut yourself short.
Some are, I think. I think I have a couple that are, but I think that I think quality over quantity. I have all these semi-complete armies. If I would just do battle ready across the board, I would have like 6 armies ready to go all the time. Yeah. But because I'm not giving myself that leeway, which I should.
Yep. That I've decided to go that route. I've decided to just do battle ready right now and do a good base. And that at least will get me on the board, and then I can revisit it. That's what I got to do.
Yeah, get the battle ready and just get them.
Yeah,
because you can always come back and do another lap with everything.
It's not just about painting. It's oh man.
It's like what's battle ready mold lines for you then?
Oh, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about mold lines. They're my nemesis. Man.
Well, there are some of those things.
Worse. There's nothing worse than after I fill all the molds, I sand down all the mold lines, and then I prime it. And there's something about priming it that then, of course, just brings out all the detail, and it brings out that one mold line that you forgot. And I just cannot explain the feeling I get when I see that damn thing. I kind of want to burn the world, So, yeah.
Oh my God, I'm right there with you, because I'll some of those I won't even see until I'm on like my 3rd highlight. I'm like, oh no!
Are you kidding me? How did I not see this?
Yep, it'll be something hidden, like with all those witch elves. You have to. Yeah. Their hair was a separate piece. So you look at those witch elves. Their hair that goes onto their head is one, or most of them was 2 pieces. So you have to cut each head of hair had like 2 places you had to clip it off. And so each head of hair had 4 places you could have clips and 4 places you could have mold lines. And the amount that I missed on those, oh man, just
It's frustrating
maddening to see. Like,
I'm getting angry right now just thinking of it.
because a good witch elf army has 60 witch elves. Has to have at least 60 witch elves. So
and good hair
times 2. That's 120 times. I had to clip. No, because 4 like 2 each. So it's 240 clips off of a sprue. Am I right on that math? Am I wrong on that math?
No, you run 2 blocks of 30 elves, right?
Yeah.
And then another tenor, right?
Well, but usually for the tenor, I do the Sisters of Slaughter.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So still...
And it's not like they're... and it's funny because the Witch Elves were originally like an elite unit, weren't they?
They used to be.
So
I think they're back
like
to being...
60.
It's an elite army. Like, the whole army is like... Yeah.
But they're like $60 for 10.
I think if you hunt for a deal, you might be able to get them for $40. But $50 is pretty
just
consistently.
MSRP from GW.
Yeah, and I don't want it to sound like I had a ton of money to dump on
$60 for 10, right?
Right. It took me like 4 years to collect all those witch elves.
Yeah.
And you know, a little at a time, playing smaller games, and eventually finally getting to a place where I had that full elite army ready to go. But that's so rewarding too, that over like from 2012 to 2019, 2020 now, that it took me that long to finally get to the point where I really felt like I had an elite army of witch elves with all those mold lines and all those points, screw clipping,
all that frustration.
All that frustration to see, I didn't clip that quite right, and there it is on the bottom of her hair.
Just
who's gonna see
staring
that?
at you.
Yep, just right in my face.
So anyway, that's one of my upcoming projects. So and there we have it.
Yep. Well, Wrath of the Everchosen. I don't think there's a reason we can share my copy for when we get around to it, but the stuff that's in that book.
Yeah.
For the 3 of us and the type of campaigns we want to play, let me just read through you some of the stuff that's in there. Just looking at the table of contents, there's the rules section of the Wrath of the Everchosen book. Danger at every turn. It has a realm of battle, so it's got its own realm of battle rules, it does technically take place in Akshi, but the 8 point, because this takes place in the 8 points, it's got its own realm of battle rules. There are roaming monster rules in here.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, which are above and beyond the roaming monster rules that are in Gur, if you're familiar with Gur.
Grr.
And there are wandering endless spells rules. And there are siege warfare rules with specific siege warfare command abilities.
Whoa.
And there are 8 battle plans in here as well for siege-based street-to-street realm of battle or street-to-street campaigns. Man, I want, whenever we are finally clear of this virus, I cannot wait to dig into the Wrath of the Everchosen book and play through this.
Yeah, let's focus on that. Yeah.
Just
that'll be a blast.
Oh,
using
man.
those.
It looks like so much fun to play through with wandering monsters and or the roaming monsters and the wandering endless spells. Those 2 things happening at once. The games are going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then the siege command abilities, like you don't have to actually be playing a siege scenario. I think they want you to, but siege abilities, there's Beasts of Chaos is one of them, but then the siege warfare command abilities. Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So one's blast powder charges, reinforcements, boiling oil, sally forth, take cover. There's all these different command abilities that you can use to simulate the siege tactics that you would expect to find. And I think you could use this with the siege warfare stuff that was already out in the last GHB. I think the book is well worth it if you play, and particularly if you play either Death or Slaves to Darkness. I think it's a good book because it's got allegiance abilities in there for both those that go above and beyond the stuff that's useful for all armies. But that's one of the light at the end of the tunnel things I was talking about. I really want to bring out some of the stuff that's in this book and play it through with you guys, just to take our games from crazy fun to just ridiculous.
No, I like that. That'll be great. Absolutely awesome, especially with this campaign we're planning to do. So
yes, I can't think of a reason to not use these in every game in this next campaign we're talking about doing.
Awesome, perfect. So maybe over the course of this, we'll hash out what we want to do for that next campaign. I know we talked about it. I know we have our starting point, but maybe we can, do a little bit more about the actual battle plans and what we're going to do.
I think there's a lot of fun in having here, but sometime between before, it sounds like the quarantine is definitely going to go on. This is April 8th as we're recording it. It sounds like the quarantine is definitely going to go on through the rest of the month.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep.
A minimum. So let's try and play a remote skirmish game and then talk about how it went.
Okay.
After the fact, and play that at some point. Let's try and find a night sometime in the next 2 weeks that we can do that.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, if you guys are up for it, a Saturday afternoon or or whenever, whenever works for you guys. Just let me know, because I, as a theme park employee, I am not going anywhere anytime soon. So,
all right.
Yeah. I think this has been a fun episode. We got to talk about a lot of different things. Anything else you want to say to the collected masses, like how to get a hold of you?
Well, you can hit us up on Twitter, Facebook. I'm WARlando Nick. Instagram, WARlando Nick, and on Facebook, we're WARlando.
Yep. Facebook, of course, like Nicholas said, and I'm WARlando Mark on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll gonna go back to documenting my quarantine journey here. So, yep. Yeah,
that's a great reminder, because in my frustration with all this, I've kind of waned on what I was putting out there on Instagram as WARlando Adam, and on Twitter and Instagram. I've waned on what I was putting on there, but I want to redouble my efforts and start focusing more on just communicating with the people in the rest of the world, and like the work that Mark and Nicholas, and I think I'm okay too, that between the three of us, there's some models to look at. So come and check out our pages. Let us know what you think. I'd love some feedback on the different paint that we're doing and the different creative choices we're making. So please check out our Instagram profiles and our Twitter profiles. If you want to support the show, you can go over to Nicholas. What's the Teespring address?
It's teespring.com/stores/WARlando-2.
That's it. Yes, absolutely. Head over to Teespring. If you buy us a shirt, we get a percentage of the shirt price. And if you have ideas for shirts you'd like us to make based on the shows and everything, let us know. We can make some shirts. I have some time on my hands. And then over on Ko-Fi, ko-fi.com/WARlando. That's where if you want to just make a one-time donation to help out the show, you can go over to Ko-Fi and help us with that. Mark, any last words?
I got nothing right now. I'm staring at my paint pots, and they're staring back at me right now. So I think I must do a thing now.
Yes, it's time. It's time. We've been talking. We spent the last hour and a half talking about getting time to hobby, and I've been wasting all your guys' time making a podcast for this hobby. So
no, not at all.
What were you thinking?
I finished another 6 Rebel Pathfinders in Jyn Urso, so I'm.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm fine.
That's good.
You're doing great.
Well,
yeah, this is awesome. This is much needed. We need to do this more. Yeah, especially during this lockdown.
And it's fun to laugh, about social distancing and everything.
Yeah.
But there's people out there that are dying. So please do, everybody, take this seriously.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Whatever you can do to help anyone out there. Yeah. We're all in this.
Absolutely.
We're all in this together. We really are.
We are. As far apart as we are in our different homes, we are really all in this together.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's at least make the best out of it and come out of it with a better viewpoint.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes. So, what do the orcs say when they're just had enough of fucking COVID? This has been an episode of WARlando. I am Adam. You can reach me as WARlando77 on Twitter or just WARlando on Instagram. You can reach Mark on Twitter and Instagram with the handle of WARlando Mark. You can reach Nicholas on Twitter and Instagram with the handle of WARlando Nick. Please leave comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you want to support the show, go to the show notes and follow the link to Teespring and buy a t-shirt, or to Ko-Fi and buy us a coffee, or, better yet, buy us a beer. And thank you very much for listening.